Yeah, great.
Whoa, this ain't going.
Be down the side. And
But I appreciate everybody on the chat tonight for your comments. Well, welcome back to the Bee Connection. Glad to have everybody here. Hope everybody's had a good week. We sure have. It's definitely been different for us. It's been a whole lot cooler. Temperatures are definitely getting down into the freezing. We've had some killer frost. Yes, sir. Definitely killer frost. All the goldenrod's gone. Maybe a few asters or something that's hidden somewhere that didn't get the little, bite. But the bees are definitely done for the season. So I'm a little bit, me and Keith talked a little bit earlier, but it's time to put these bees to bed and be done for the season. So anything that's not done needs to be finished up and done. So yeah, I'm definitely going to get those bees off the mountain. Hopefully maybe Sunday. I'm not sure if we'll get down there or not, but we're going to shoot for Saturday or Sunday and get the bees off the mountain and get them tied down and in their new home where it's warm down there with Keith. And again, maybe they'll catch some of his spring honey. I hope so. But anyway, here's a little bit of a picture of what the weather's going to be like. And if you guys will let us know what the weather's going to be like in your area, that'd be cool. Just that way we can see across the nation what's going on. But we did see a little bit of sleet on Monday. We didn't get this much. This is on Beech Mountain, which is one of our higher elevations. But we did get a little bit of sleet on Monday. So that definitely tells you the temperatures are dropping very quickly for us. So anyway. So what's going on with you, Keith? How's things going?
yeah, real similar story to what you just told. Our temps are probably 5-6 degrees warmer, but I think they're calling for rain Monday through Friday next week. Lows in the 30s, highs in the 50s. So yeah, it's going to be a nasty week next week. I went ahead and made the call. I was planning on waiting a little bit later, but day before yesterday, I went ahead and winterized all my colonies. Made a little video, put it out yesterday. I believe it came out, but went ahead and got the fondant on all of them. Got the feeder shim, the insulation, everything I was going to do in the top. Started working on all the folks' hives that I mentor. Got a couple of those guys today. I get two more of them tomorrow and one more Saturday, and then I'll have all the folks that I help. I'll have their bees put to bed. So yeah, just kind of that time of the year. Like you say, the goldenrod is pretty much going to seed down here, turning white and fluffy.
Yep.
Asters kind of wilting away. Few oddball flowers here and there, but I did see them bring in a little bit of pollen today. I don't have a clue where that came from, but
They
bees
can find it though, can't they?
Yeah, it might have been some chicken feed. I don't know what it was, but they're still flying quite a bit, but they're coming home hungry. So food right now. It's getting you're running out of time. If you need to get some feed in your colonies, you need to be doing it. Switch over to 2-to-1 if you need to get some weight on right quick. Yeah, the old clock's ticking for a lot of us.
Yeah, I tell you, hopefully everybody's got their colonies, where they need to be at. But if you don't, any kind of fondant would work really good right now. Get it on there as quickly as you can. You got some high. I've live. What is the what's the stuff you can put on it on top of the colonies teeth? Gosh, can't think of the name of
Oh,
it.
the Reflect X.
Yeah. You can do
Yeah, that's good
that.
stuff.
Yeah, any of the things to keep those colonies warm or with some food on it, that will definitely help out. So, what's going on, Tom, sir?
I'm just not getting in.
Just getting in. Hey, we're supposed to have some rain coming up, and I was just curious if maybe you know something about that.
Oh.
Yeah. If y'all don't know, there's a tropical storm that's going to turn into hurricane, and the name of it is Melissa. So this could definitely be a bad one. But this is going to kind of come up this way and throw some rain up into the Carolinas this weekend. So I think that's where some of this rain's coming from, is this tropical storm that's about to turn into a hurricane. But it is going to be a Hurricane Melissa, of course, this time of year, a Hurricane Melissa. So
I'm not sure if you brought that up, so I hang myself or what your point is here.
He's just giving you a little rope.
Yeah,
he was.
It's up to you what you do with it.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, we'll do this. We'll go from that to actually praising her. How's that? Look at that.
Ooh,
There
look
she
at that.
is. I was in the front row of her presentation.
Yeah, look at that
Like
smile
she's
on
in
her
front of the
face.
boardroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a little stadium seating. The facility that we rented in Kansas City, Missouri, was actually really nice. It had several different rooms. The facility was pretty nice. The food was good. Everything went really well. So we had 2 presentations to give that day. I gave one, and Melissa gave the other. She was also working the Honey Show that entire day as well. So I just thought it would be beneficial if Melissa spoke a little bit too. She's good at it, and she doesn't think she is, but she's good at it. And not everybody wants to hear me speak, and not everybody wants to listen to all men. So,
That's right.
There's that. I always tried to. This is something that sometimes people wouldn't think about, particularly if you're a man. But I really actually try to get equally as many female speakers as I do male speakers. Just trying to appease all, when we're trying to do that. I'm not doing it for myself. We're doing it for the people of the club and the attendees. So I just feel that it might be more appreciated sometimes having, or more relatable. How about that? Relatable coming from a female to a female. So,
Yep.
So anyway, she did good. Everything turned out really well. And that was right before the class was beginning. So I thought I'd snap a photo, because sometimes when I get my mind zones in certain things, everything else I forget about, so. But
So overall, was that a pretty good little conference to go to?
I think so. There was not a lot of vendors. There was maybe 10-ish. I had, some, a handful, not all. I had a handful of some of my favorites. Michael with 21st B was there. Arda with Apame was there. Jeff with, let's see, that would have been, that would have been after the EMBA,
Yeah.
right? The next
Yeah.
morning.
Yep, sure is.
Yeah. That was a good time.
I figured with that cast of people, it's definitely going to be a good time.
Definitely is. I'll tell you what, when you have a good group of people like that,
Yes.
I'll tell you, man, you can have a conversation. I can lose myself half of a day in a conversation, particularly folks or friends that you just don't get to see that often face to face. You want to make the most of it. That's my most favorite part about the conferences. The presentations are great. Usually the vendors are great, but it's the personal connections for me that I really enjoy the most, honestly.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know when I come up to y'all's conference, that just, getting to sit down and talk to people that, you talk to on the chats, or you see at the conferences, and just getting to be part of their conversation is so good. And not being a vendor definitely helps that out, because I didn't really get to talk to people the way I wanted to. That real deep conversation that you can have and enjoy being with those people. But at y'all's conference, I could really do that. The expo, everything seems like it's going 100 miles a minute. So, but
it definitely is.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of who might have been missing from there. Clay, he's not in that picture.
Yeah.
Ricky, I'm guessing you were taking that picture, right?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. I'm trying to think back. There's one other gentleman too that you all had, besides Matt's better half, Sandy. There was another gentleman there. Oh, doggone it. It was an older gentleman, super nice guy. He lives kind of in, what was it?
Dot?
Well, Dodd too. Yeah, Dodd. Somebody else that also lives out that direction. A white bearded guy. He was at the after party.
Mm.
I say after party, but just a little greet with when we went to that little pub and had that little broom in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Doggone it, I'm forgetting his name. He comes in the chats every once in a while. I don't see him often. But anyway, he was another one who's missing out of there as well.
Yeah.
So I hope that you guys would consider coming back. Sounds like Sawmill Charlie and Bill with Shenandoah is going to come out there just as guests. So it'd be really cool. I think be really nice if a gentleman that we'd all know, trying to think, Half Tracks and Honeybees, I think. Nice to get him out there, bring him up just slightly north, but more west, And what I'm really hoping,
cold weather, you know what I'm saying?
I'm really hoping is to bring the Half Track out here, throw the 50 on top, and we can go out and destroy some stuff. Okay. Yeah.
So what about your all's bees, Tom? Where you guys at with those? I mean, are you guys like me and Keith batting down the hatches now, or you guys still got a little bit more time, you think?
No, we're at the tail end of things, following the month and how things are typically supposed to go. We're on borrowed time with warmer weather at this point, which for the most part, most of October for us in St. Louis have been fairly warm and extremely dry. And we haven't experienced too many, what I would call cold evenings. We're starting to see a handful of them in the mid to 45, 46-ish, depending on where you're at. If you're further out from the city area, you might experience something a little bit less than that. No frost yet. But, yeah, I mean, I'm not going back down in any brood nests anymore at this point in time. I was going through this week a couple different, there was a day and a half or so, I guess it was, that I started to feed. And I was working on a landscaping job yesterday and today and finished it up this evening. So tomorrow I'm going to go back out and finish feeding up. And I mixed up some syrup. And I went up to not quite 2-to-1. It was a little bit less than that. So it's a lot thicker. And this is just to kind of fatten them up the rest of the way. But I'm not going back down any brood nest. So if there's any queen issues moving forward from here, they're just going to have to figure it out. And, when they collapse, they collapse. But, we had already kind of gone through and done last-minute checks on things. I will follow up with some oxalic acid as things cool down a little bit more.
Yep.
But just not really breaking boxes apart too much. Unless there's a necessity, or like I'll give you, for example, sometimes I'll have on my newer splits, you might have a frame that's only drawing one side. So if I had a colony that I drew back, I can now take one of those full comb frames and throw it in there in that space, pull that one out, and then just put the feed to it so that they fill that up with some sugar syrup. And if nothing else, it's food, but also something that we kind of don't ever really talk about a lot is that's an insulator. Having a wall of either stored cap, and it doesn't necessarily have to be capped as long as it's dried down, of honey and or syrup, that's an insulator. It absolutely is. So that's pretty much the wrap of what we've got. Just final days of feeding, and I'll do some salicylic acid when it cools down a little bit more, and that's gonna be about it for us. Probably somewhere around late December, January. I may go through the boxes and give them a lift on it, make sure I give it a little grunt when I lift. If I don't, maybe I'll just throw some Hive Alive patties
Yeah.
on there or something. So
Yep.
yes,
Yeah,
Calvin
Buffalo-
Shaw. Thank you, Dot.
Yep.
Calvin Shaw was the gentleman that was out there with us.
Yep.
I enjoyed the brief conversation I had with him. He was leaving by the time that Melissa and I were able to get there, but he was a very kind and good guy.
And what you guys are talking about, like that insulator, when I do the cutouts, usually the first time you come in is, the bees are coming like this. They kind of go with that comb. It's kind of, and it's got the honey on it. That's the resistance. That's the insulator as they go in, as the wind's coming into that colony, it keeps all that cold air from coming in there. It's like it keeps it all out, that barrier that you need. So it's honey can be a thermal blanket almost in itself. So,
Yep, definitely. I would just say that I would rather have that on the outside, few frames on both sides than not.
Yep, absolutely.
I do truly think it makes a difference. I kind of noticed that one day I just kind of had, I don't want to say an epiphany, but it became a little bit more real for me whenever I was, and this was summertime, May, June. So not really summer, late spring, I'll say, here in St. Louis. I was looking for some bees that were going in and out of a house. And I think I've told this story before, but the short of it is I knew that they were at a specific spot and I couldn't find them. And I basically cut an opening in the wall and I encountered nothing but a huge sheet. I mean, my thermal camera wouldn't pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
And I was inside. So it should have been able to see some kind of heat signature, but I was able to see nothing.
Nothing. Yep.
And there was about one of the outside slabs was probably a solid 1.5 inches, maybe 1.75 inches thick honey. The thing was beautiful. When I pulled the drywall off, it was gorgeous.
Yep.
And again, I was not able to see any kind of thermal image through it whatsoever. So
what is Melissa doing tonight, Tom? You got her kind of hidden in the back. She doing some cooking for us. What's going on?
yeah, she is. She was making some chicken wings in the oven, I think. I just got in not long ago, so I'm not sure. She had been hard at it, I guess, the last couple of days trying to get stuff. You're just trying to, change the seasons. It's a good time to purge things and to get things cleaned up, get it sorted, before another busiest type season really kicks in, because we try to hit some markets and fall festivals and things like that fairly hot and heavy, because when you get to about that week of Christmas, things just do this.
Yeah, you're right.
When people have swiped the credit card enough, they've written enough checks, they've done all that. By the time you get past Christmas, people kind of do this with the money spending. So they draw back for a month, sometimes month and a half, 2 months, and so it's expected. I do the same thing. Once we've spent what we're planning on spending for Christmas gifts and such, I'm ready to just pull back and hold on to the wall a little tighter myself.
Yeah, I'm hoping maybe I'll get a few Christmas presents at the expo. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Good plan.
Yeah. I don't know if she's giving me a wink or what. Oh, she's telling me to turn on the lights above my head. I don't know how to do that, babe. Sorry. So what's the topic tonight? We're talking about bees and getting ready for winter. Are you ready for winter? Are your colonies ready for winter? So I think most of us are, like me and Keith was talking about earlier, we've got everything buttoned down and finished up. I did see one of my colonies. I actually left a queen excluder on one of them. So that's not good. I'm going to have to go out there and fix that on Saturday. Yep. So that's a very bad thing to do. That colony will not, I'll tell you that right now. So it's a deep with 2 supers. So yeah, she would definitely not be able to get up into the supers to get any honey as it gets colder. So, but we definitely may see some snow here, a chance of snow maybe on Thursday, which is crazy.
Holy cow. What's your elevation again, Ricky?
We're right at 3,200 feet. Yeah, so it's our here on Wednesday. It says 39, but we'll get a little cooler of that here, and a chance of a little bit of snow, maybe. So,
Yeah.
But it's definitely that time of year already. So,
Yeah. I'm not completely disappointed about not doing as much work in the bees right now. We all have that little bit of burnout, because I don't know, well, besides Brad's in here, I don't know that anybody that's in here, and maybe I'm missing a couple people, earns a living off of just bees. Somebody might use it as supplemental or just hobbyish, things like that. But, you always get a little bit of that burnout because you're beekeeping, you're trying to do your day job or you're working your career, whatever it might be. Or, it gets to be that time of year where you push really hard from the beginning of the season till now. And I don't know, for me, I'm okay with it. What's that?
So you just need a break.
Yeah, I just need a break.
yeah, and I think that somebody else had made that same comment just a little early. It's like, I'm glad the bee season's over with. It's like, we got Thanksgiving coming, spending more time with your family, getting for me, it's, right around Thanksgiving or Christmas, I'll get out and start messing with stuff, getting it ready for spring, maybe some bad comb, take it out. Or, do I need these boxes and what do I need to get there first for spring? And, but it's just a good time to finally get a little bit of time to relax, so.
Yeah, definitely.
Break doesn't come till after the expo.
Yeah, unless you're that crowd, then you don't get a break till after the expo.
Who's
Chris, I don't have to worry
Chris
about that.
Menderes? Who's that
Yeah.
guy? And
Yeah, who's that
Expo?
guy? Yeah,
Not sure I know who that guy is.
yeah.
He
I
must
tell you
be
what, when he was being a vendor, Thanksgiving and Christmas was rough because we were building hives left and right, just getting ready. And I think we took 60 some horizontal hive expo that last year. And then we
Wow.
had probably another 40 hives that were needed to be delivered before December. And it was just on. I mean, you talk about building and trying to get everything taken care of. It was definitely hard. And I could just imagine for Chris and Cayman and them, that's even at another level, being ready. So hopefully they've got enough practice now that they're good to go. So what did he say? I mean,
Yeah. Yeah,
I'll be
you-
happy to see you, Chris.
yeah.
I wouldn't even wear a veil.
Yeah.
Should he record it too, Keith?
Yeah,
Yes.
he needs to
Yeah,
set up the camera on a tripod, and
that's right.
it'll be great.
I think so. Be sure to wear a mic too. We want to hear everything. We want to hear the screaming, the heavy breathing, whole 9 yards. Yeah. Well, I mean, they've done good. They've done right by you. You don't see them wearing a veil whenever you come into the hive. Fair is fair, right?
Yeah. Mm. Yeah, they can get a little excited this time of year.
I
You
would
just
be
never
too.
know.
If you took the roof off of my house this time of year and started going to my cupboards or messing around me, I get a little excited too.
Yeah. Good point. But yeah, I totally agree with you, Tom, about the not getting into the hives, though. When I went to a couple of my folks' houses today to get them ready, and they were kind of disappointed that we didn't go digging around in the hive doing an inspection. But I was like, man, we just went through them a few weeks ago. Everything was fine. It's too late in the year to do anything now, So we did our job. Now it's up to them to do theirs. Let's just put them to bed.
Yep.
Yep.
I guess moving forward, we'll find out if we have done our due diligence.
Yep.
And kind of trying to set them up for the best scenario. I mean, some things I believe are probably out of our control to a degree, but for the things we do have under our control, we'll find out what that looks like.
Yeah, they do a lot of work caulking their hives up, and then we go in and rip everything apart.
I know.
Yeah.
And then wonder why they're upset, like you say.
We had a great speaker too. Let me think about this now. couple weeks ago, Bill Heschbach with the Condensing Hive came in and talked about it, and I've heard it before, but I listened intently about some of the science that he has that delves into talking about the gases and how they move the gases inside the colony, all these different things. And he cited a bunch of research in his talk as well. And I don't know, I just really enjoy listening to that stuff. And this is kind of something that we've been practicing the last handful of years now in our own colonies. Not saying it's right, not saying it's wrong, just saying, seems to work for the most part, I guess.
Yep. Did y'all get to catch any of that chat that popped up? What was it, yesterday, about the trophy mites getting caught offshore in New Jersey?
Yeah, I did. Melissa had said something to me. I was outside doing something in the garage, actually, and Melissa said something to me about it. So I came inside for a minute, and she was watching, like, they're on now? I thought it was going to be this evening. She goes, no. So I took a few minutes out and watched. I watched the majority of it, I guess.
I didn't get to catch all of it, so go ahead and tell me. Tell me everything. I never got to watch
I
it.
guess bottom line is they it was a cluster in a container, wasn't it, Tom, that they spotted and called out I guess the right folks, and they euthanized the swarm, I believe, or the cluster, and
Yeah.
when they checked it, it actually had some trophy. I can't say the big word. The other mites in it.
AAA labs.
So that prompted the whole conversation about, oh my God, what are we going to do? Do we have a plan? And, Ian popped in out of Canada, with 4011 questions, because apparently they've already got some stuff in place that maybe we don't. So yeah, I mean, it prompts a lot of questions. To me, it's only a matter of time. There's too many humans. There's too many boats coming from too many places into too many ports. I mean, I think we kind of need to, of course, we need to try to prevent it, but we also need to be looking at what do we do when it gets here.
Yeah.
So, there seemed to be backing off on some of in the beginning, we heard formic acid, worked great, and brood breaks worked great.
Yeah.
And now the guy yesterday, Tom, did you kind of get from him? He was kind of, they were kind of backing off some of these things that we thought we could do. Maybe aren't going to work as good as we thought they were.
Are you talking about Charles Linder?
Yeah, Charles and Kamen both were kind of, we'll wait and see. Things have changed. There were some definites, or people were talking like some definites, as far as like the trophy mites couldn't survive without brood for X amount of days, and it seems like some of that stuff that we thought was true might not be a fact.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see. I mean, we need to be ready.
Yeah. Well, I would say, and I don't like this, and this is not just with beekeeping or with a pest coming into the country from another one, whether it be AAA labs or anything else. This country, and probably many others, but because we live here and this is, our space, if you will, is very good at being reactive and not very good at being proactive in almost any way. And I can't wrap my head around the fact how we can't build some things in place, other than maybe they don't want to spend money for a what if or a possibility. But certain things just seem to be like, yeah, you know what, with the commerce and stuff going back and forth across the pond, it's likely that's where most of all these pests and stuff have come from, right? They come across in a container ship or on a ship, whatever it might be, dock in the ports, and then from there it just kind of blossoms out, and everything gets trucked across the country too. So if you have a pest somewhere or whatever, you just had this distribution that put it out across the country. But I don't know. I just think that we're not very good about being proactive. And even Charles Linder said it himself. And he's in personal conversation. I've heard him mention it to me before too, saying how yeah, they don't want to put a plan in place until it gets here. And I'm like, in what way, shape, or form do you handle your own personal life that way? You know what I'm saying? I mean, okay, there's some people that do, and there's certain things that are low on the totem pole and they might kind of come off that way. But by and large, on things that have some significance in your life, you typically try to put some sort of plan in place. Now, that doesn't mean that it's going to go the way you think, or you may not pivot, but you know, you try to put forth an effort and try to get things in place. So I don't know. I don't want to get too far off on any kind of soapbox or anything, but you know, that's what goes
Yeah.
through my head.
Well, I mean, it's a big problem. We got hundreds of ports, both coasts. We got Canada and Mexico. Ian, when any of the Charles or Cayman said anything about government, Ian didn't like that. Ian wants to know what the beekeepers are doing, which I can see that to a certain extent, but I'm not sure what beekeepers can do. It's not like we can shut down ports or
Exactly.
do anything big officially.
Right.
We can thump our chest and say what needs to happen.
Yeah.
But
I
the
agree.
government's going to have to be involved to do anything. And, and like they say, the government at this point, really on their to-do list, we're beekeepers are kind of down pretty low. So
Yeah.
that's just the way
Unfortunately,
it
when you don't have a large paper trail in your industry, much like cattle, grow crop farming, hogs, things like that, you tend to get what's left over, I guess. But we can all argue, and I think we all have a little bit more skin in the game than most folks out there who don't beekeep, obviously. But we all tend to think that what we do is always more important than everybody else. When the reality of it is, everything has to work together well in order to be have some level of success. But I do agree that we just probably don't get the credit that probably is needed, particularly since there's a lot of foods without the honeybee. I mean, and everybody can argue the fact that the native bees and whatever, but you just can't, on the level that we farm to these days, the honeybee is going to be the most efficient pollinator. I mean, kind of hands down.
Yeah. And I agree with what Brent says there, a double-edged sword when the government gets involved.
It absolutely is. Yeah.
You need their horsepower, but just like they talked about a little bit yesterday, the bureaucracy, the secrecy, the paperwork you have to go through because there's no I guess they haven't made an official announcement about the event. This was just kind of coming through Charles, but they can't talk about it unless they go through whatever it was, 15 pages of bureaucratic mess before they can. That's what the government does for you. That's one of the things the government does for you.
It's kind of like pushing a rope with him, isn't it?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just hoping that more small groups will get together and band together and, try to help find out some stuff too. And I think the bee community can do that because we're pretty strong. We like to listen. We like to know what's going on and apply that to our own bees. So maybe we all can work together and find a solution for some of this.
Yeah. Yeah. I like to be informed in a lot of ways, but I also like to say there's a fine line out there too when people start beating the drum really hard that doesn't need to be beat. You know what I'm saying? The point I'm trying to make here is I don't think you should be trying to cause panic. Okay.
Right.
I don't think that when people panic, they do a lot of silly things. And I don't think that's a good thing. So, I mean, just because, typically it seems like in the news or in the media, social media, whatever it might be, the more you hear about something, you feel like the worse the problem is. When in reality, that's not the case.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I like to, and to each their own with the scenario, but I like to trust God in a lot of areas and, pray about things when it comes to mind. And if that's not your cup of tea, then so be it. I don't push that on anybody, but I don't like to make harsh decisions, especially when they have a big meaning behind them. I like to kind of settle in on it and sleep on it and, kind of see where that lands me.
Absolutely. What do you think about that, Todd? Where do you land on all this?
I wanted to stick with beekeeping, but I'll throw my 2 cents in. And you can't believe what you read or even hear these days. It's really bad. Like, for example, I woke up this morning. This is the funniest thing. This made my week. And I'm just like Tom. I don't push politics, anything. If you're whatever side you're on, that's fine with me.
Yeah.
Great. But the headline of one of the things this morning came from ABC News, and it said, basically, Trump's just demolishing the White House. You know what I mean? I mean, come on, people. He's remodeling. He's not tearing it down. So, so you can't believe everything you hear. I get that. That's enough. That's all you're going to get from me tonight on that.
Talk to us about the Tropiomite and tell us what you think about that. Are we doomed or what?
Well, actually, the Tropiomite in a second, but I have a question for everybody, even on the chat. I believe I remember seeing, I think it was Mike Berry or maybe it was Randy, Dirt Rooster Randy, that was wadding up balls of wax and like about a softball size, and one of those guys said that it drained faster that way than if you just left it alone. Like I have an uncapping tank.
Mm-hmm.
So if you wad it up into nice size softball size shape and leave it in there or wherever, supposedly the honey runs out of them faster than if you just left the cappings there. Anybody hear that?
I haven't heard that before.
Oh, Joseph Rawls. Mr. Rawls says that was Mike Berry. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's what I've been doing, and it worked. I'm shocked. So
yeah, I think compressed together it wouldn't come out fast, but maybe it does. I mean, that'd be something I'd like to try out just to find out. That'd be cool.
It's crazy, but it's working for me. So I was
okay.
Hey, whatever.
Yeah, because in the past we would go through and chop it up and stir it and break it up and try to get as much surface area as we can to get it to drain. So that's right the opposite.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's crazy how it works. All right, Tropiomite. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's go. Give me something.
Brood breaks.
Brood breaks.
So what I would love to try, those cages that Richard Knoll has? I would love to try those. They're still in the hive. The workers can go in and feed the queen. She just can't lay for 24 days. And that nifty little gadget that he catches the queen and opens the door up for it and lets her in the cage, that's the cat's meow in my opinion. But I think it's brood breaks. That's just me. I think Sammy Ramsey said brood breaks work. I don't know. So that's yeah. But I can't use Formic like I want to because of the timing here. So it's just if something's going to work the best, it would be brood breaks. Yeah, Brad, I thought about removing brood too, but if I could put a frame in there that not a wax foundation frame, but a foundation that's got a cutout for that cage, and the cage is sweet. It hangs over. It's got straps that hang over the top bars, and it clicks right in. If I can cut some foundation to fit that size of the cage, and let them build out that draw out that comb around it, that's perfect. I could do that in the spring, and prep those frames with the cages on it, and then trap the queens in that little gadget and put her in the cage for 3.5 weeks. And Brad's not on, but I would say, what do you say, Brad? And he would say, Bob's your uncle. So I think that's what he would say. Anyway. But yeah, that's what if and when it comes to that, I think that's what I would try first. I don't know.
The one thing that Charles said on the chat the other day in regards to that for some reason stuck in my mind. He said that Now, hold on. I don't want to put any words in his mouth, so I'm just paraphrasing here, okay? He said something to the notion that the Tropilelaps mite can theoretically or potentially, I guess there was some sort of research that suggested this could live longer on a dead bee than it could be a live bee because they're able to extract more of the, for lack of a better term, bee juice, bodily fluids, whatever you. So I thought
But it
that
was interesting. I heard from, I think it was Sammy Ramsey's studying or science that said that they couldn't last long in a broodless environment.
Yeah.
But here's this ship that comes over.
Mhm.
Now that he didn't, I don't remember him saying that. And I was at work when I put the earpiece in my ear and started listening to this the other day. But I don't remember him saying if they'd already built some comb and the queen was laying. So I don't know how far along that hive or that colony was. So who knows? But it is scary to think that it was, just right there. Really, I had made the comment the worst scenario for at least me and a lot of people actually, because everybody brings their bees over here in January for almonds, is the government south of the border that doesn't take this as seriously as other countries, and it lets them fly up here just like the Africanized bees do, and it'll happen. I mean, there's no way they could stop it. I don't even know what kind of policing they do in their ports, but I don't think it's par. I don't know.
Yeah, that would probably be worst case if something came in on the West Coast when all the hives are out there for the crops, and then it gets transported back across the U.S. So yeah,
Talk about fuel to a wildfire.
oh yeah,
And Blake had made a comment about, well, if there's trophy mites in that area or whatever, I'm pulling my bees away. Well, all you're doing is spreading them to wherever you go. You keep once you're in an area with trophy mites, you better stay there and take care of it.
Yeah.
Because just shipping them somewhere else is just going to make the whole problem 10 times worse.
Yeah, he said something about sending them to cold storage, meaning he was going to force a brood break in there is what his plan was.
Yeah.
To do, which makes sense, right? I mean, if you had something like that, I mean, even if it's middle of summer, I mean, which is going to be pretty hard to come by, cold storage like that, but you go in there and push those bees in. I mean, you're going to cause some detriment too, because trying to force, in a, say it's semi-warm climate or what have you, and you go forcing them into clustering up in very short order, I'm sure that's going to cause a load of problems as well.
The guys that made the most money during the gold rush were the guys selling the shovels and picks, right?
Absolutely. Yep. You're right.
So I've heard of a group of people that are around here, and it's actually some strong money that are considering, because of this problem, building cold sheds all over the state. And yeah, you could park trailer loads. What they want to do is they want to just have the semi pull in one end, they unhook, and then the truck pulls out the other end, and then they shut the door. And once it's full, they'll keep it cold. And so there's actually some big money talking about that right now that I know of. And I know of that because my oldest daughter's godfather is a huge almond grower on the west side of the valley here, and he knows what's going on in and around the almond business. So I've heard that, and it makes sense, right? I mean, if you could store bees in there, chill them to whatever temperature you want, and keep them broodless, hey.
look at it like this too. If you don't need it for any cold storage, more sheets of ice for hockey, right? we could start up a men's league.
Yeah.
Middle of summer.
So Brian says that can triplets travel on bumblebees too. Is that true? I haven't heard that. Is that right?
Who knows? And no, Brian, they're not called almonds. They're called almonds.
Almonds.
Almonds. I told him that drives me crazy when he says that.
So Brad, what do you think about all this? These
almonds and pecans.
Pecans.
Beacons.
What do I think about this
Tropium mites.
talk?
Yeah.
Well, I had to come on here and set you all straight because you're all wrong. I'm kidding. I don't know any more than you guys. Probably don't know as much as you guys. Yeah. No, it's something I agree with the talk that we got to learn as much as we can and be ready because it'll arrive someday. It'll arrive. And there's a lot of talk about import packages and stuff, and I think there's a lot of validity there. But there's a very, very high likelihood that this thing is going to arrive in some kind of a container, so a swarm in a container or something, because I think it was Tom was saying that there's just how do you police all that stuff? How do you, because these people working on the dock, they don't care. There's a container with a swarm in it. Okay, slam the door and bang bang, and away you go. Like,
Yeah.
Well, they mentioned
why would
that
they care?
They mentioned that yesterday that they had heard reports of some swarms in containers that they just called local beekeepers to come out and get.
Yeah.
And then the happy beekeeper goes and gets it and takes it to his house and
Yep.
no checks on anything.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So yeah, it could
Terrible.
happen that easy.
So I mean, you could exclude bee packages from whatever country you want, but there's all kinds of that stuff still going on. So
Yeah.
there's so much Swiss cheese in
Yeah.
the system.
Yeah.
Yeah. That could be innocent enough where you dock worker says, "Hey, there's a swarm of bees. Oh yeah, I got a buddy that just got into beekeeping. He wants some swarms. Call him up and say, hey, come down here and get these.
Yeah.
I'll let you in the gate or whatever the deal is, right?"
I think that
And-
Asian hornet, the Asian hornet, they say that's how that came. It was on a container. or
I wouldn't
ship
like
or
to open
something.
that container and see the nest of them in there. Good God.
I guess they know exactly where it came from because the guy didn't make it. I'm kidding. But can you imagine being the guy who opened that container?
I'd run. Hey, Brad, I would run away screaming like a girl. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind getting stung up by bees. Okay, that's fine.
It would be
But
bad enough
hornets?
that I would
Jeez.
run. Right?
We'd both
That'd
be
be
tripping
pretty
each
bad.
other, Brad.
Pretty bad for me to run anywhere.
Someone got a
Somebody-
fire.
Somebody's making toast.
Who's
got a-
cooking?
I'm just going to say I'm not cooking, okay?
Someone's
Castle
burning the
Hobbs.
biscuits.
Biscuits are ready.
Who's burning the biscuits?
I think that's Brian from Castle Hobbs cooking on the grill for Keith.
Hey,
Oh. I'm not cooking.
he's not cooking. Hey, let me know when you're going to let JW in here because I got to go. I have to cook here pretty quick. I just came on to ask about the wax balls and how well they drain. So
That's pretty cool. I had never heard that before, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna try that.
It's
Yeah.
a long time ago. I've forgotten about that.
yeah, it works. I just couldn't remember who said it. I want to give credit. So credit to Mike Berry, the world famous Mike Berry.
The world
That's
famous.
right.
World famous. He's on his way to Virginia right now, I believe, to the bee conference.
That's right.
Yeah.
If you're in Virginia,
More
there
like
you go.
tri-tip.
No, I'm not cooking. I'm off pork chops for a little bit, Darren.
On to tri-tip.
I got tri-tip though. Yeah, I'm on tri-tip again. But
What's your favorite way to cook a pork chop, Todd?
well, I like cook. Well, in the wintertime, I'll cook it in the house in the skillet. But I like barbecuing it. I have a smoker, and I just put it out there, and let it go. It's good.
I bake mine.
Oh yeah.
Bake,
Uh,
yeah. That I have.
One of my favorite ways is to pour mushroom soup. Put mushroom soup right out of the can, like don't add water or anything. You just put the mushroom soup out of the can, and I'll actually put a can of sliced mushrooms in with that just to boost the mushroom content, and then bake that. And oh my goodness, it works best with a boneless pork chop though, because if you get the bone covered in the sauce, you can't find the bone to cut it out. But other than that, I even like a baked chicken bake coating on a pork chop. It's a pork chop.
I definitely don't boil mine when I do make pork chops. That's
Yeah, that doesn't sound doesn't
Oil?
sound appetizing.
yeah, that doesn't sound good.
Yeah, that sounds like a good way to ruin a pork chop.
Be like rubber.
I was at the
I
ball
bought it.
game over the summer, or no, was it some event somewhere? I thought it was a ball game. I don't think it was a ball game. Anyway, it was some event, and I got this brat that was boiled. Okay, I'm sorry, this thing came out looking white as a ghost, and
That was like Nami.
That's a brat. Yeah,
it was. Melissa's not wrong. It was at Nabi. I'm sorry. That was
Brad, take notes.
that was absolutely disgusting. I'm just telling you right now, you cannot. There's a sin to boil any type of meat like that. You know what I'm saying?
you don't like a boiled brat? I love those.
No, I do not.
Yeah.
Brad, that didn't look right. It was white. Okay.
Oh yeah.
That was not good. I choked down about one or two bites, threw it in the trash, and said, "Yeah, I'm good until dinner."
Only thing good boiled is water. That's
There
it.
you go.
Asparagus, that's good boiled.
No.
That's good on the grill
Green
Yeah.
beans is good
or
boiled.
the skillet. Oh yeah, asparagus on the grill or skillet. Absolutely, that's it.
Mm.
I'm sorry, I got off topic when he mentioned food and pork chop. I just had to know. I'm sorry, I kind of derailed this thing.
Yeah, everybody's thinking as soon as they get done, we're gonna go grab a bite to eat because
Everybody's got to eat pork chops.
a pro tip. So DC says bachelor food, right? You know,
Yeah.
I'm thinking. I know he's not referring to tri-tip, but I'll give you a pro tip. Go to the store and you buy the biggest, heaviest tri-tip you can find. I don't know if you guys have tri-tip in your stores, but if you do, buy one. And then there's 2 grains in that meat. One grain goes one way, the other one goes this way. You want to cut the tri-tip at that intersection so you could cut against the grain on one side and against the grain on the other. For me, I'm single, so I don't have to cook for a big family. What I do is I cut individual steaks out of that tri-tip. So if the tri-tip costs like $40, I'll cut some nice thick steaks out of it. I'll get about 5 or 6, and then whammo, for $40, I've got 5 or 6 steaks to cut or to cook, and it's a good deal. Otherwise, I'd have to cook the whole thing and then eat tri-tip for like 5 days. I'm not going to do that. Come on, it's not be crazy.
That's a good call.
Yeah, that's what I do. And they come out so good too. They really do. All right, enough of that. I'm done. I'm done with politicking and cooking and back to beef.
Hey, Tom,
we
what
can
I'm
do-
thinking is you're going to bring some of this. We're going to do some grilling or smoking when you come in town here in St. Louis, because that's what's going to happen.
I
Okay.
can't. I can't put my barbecue won't fit in my carry-on.
Tell us what you need. We'll get it set up. We can get this figured out here. Okay. Where there's a
Hey, we
will,
don't
there's a
need
way.
pizza for our little dinner. We'll just get Todd to cook for us. How's that?
I'll be out in the parking lot the whole night. Hey, I'm not arriving until 5:30, so I won't be able to cook.
Ugh.
At least that night.
The other nights they'll be there.
Yeah,
So
maybe.
Charles Leonard did say that they are testing Tropical and seeing if it jumps to bumblebees. That's interesting.
Man. I'd imagine it could jump to any insect, really. But whatever they could feed on. I mean, they won't jump on a butterfly, I don't think. But bumblebee, wow. Gosh, could you imagine yellow jackets having that thing on them? Holy cow.
It'd be everywhere.
My yellow jackets out here are bad this year. I don't know why. They're really bad.
Same.
Hey, boss.
Look, got Ian on here. Wow.
There's Ian.
Hey, Todd, that might specifically be a California cut of beef, honestly.
It
I'm not
is.
sure that I've heard of it, but I was just reading just to understand where that is at. And it's actually refers to it as a California cut.
Do you have Price Cutter up in St. Louis?
Price cutter?
Yeah.
I don't believe that we do.
Okay, it's down in Springfield and Branson and stuff like that. So when you guys go down there, you could get it.
Okay.
You might have to ask the butcher behind the counter, but it's back there. That's
there
where
was
I
a-
bought it.
So when you lived out there before, was there these small grocers called Harder House? Are you familiar with that?
That sounds familiar, but
Well, there's a couple of them down near the lake and down there, and I'm telling you, when we go down there, they actually have some really good fresh cuts of meat that are down there. We actually go into the case, the day that we're going to be doing some barbecuing. I mean, I'll tell you, it wouldn't be. Now I have a big family, but certain nights that certain families, when we go down to the lake house, might cook. So we don't go eat out all the time, which is fun, And one nights when they talked about barbecue, I'm like, I'll take that. And we got some brats and a few different cuts of meats and steaks and stuff, and they were pretty good. And that come from this little place called Harder House. I'll have to look the next time I go down there and see if they can do what they call the California cut.
Or just ask them tri-tip. They'll know.
Tri-tip.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll see if they've got that.
Yeah. Worth a shot. I know Price Cutter has them, so you could go to a Price Cutter down there.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry, so come on here and take your spot, Tom.
Okay. I can bow out.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to sidetrack things from one topic to another and turning into tri-tip, but
Hey, you know what? When it comes to food and good food, you can sidetrack that conversation all day long.
We can all relate to the food part.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's my favorite pastime.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm paying. Well, I'm not paying, but ribeye over here is $19.99 a pound. It's absolutely unbelievably high.
Yeah,
it's great. It's just crazy.
I'm not sure what it is per pound, but we usually buy a cow every single year,
Yeah.
one a year, and then we also order up usually an extra 150 pounds of ground chuck because we eat a lot of red meat, a little bit of fish, a lot of chicken, but it has been a little bit higher because we're in need of another cow right now to drop in the freezer before winter, and our local butcher that's out here that we've used for quite some time said, hold off if you can. He goes, I'm thinking that this is going to come down a little bit.
It's supposed to.
So that's what we're at.
Talk about cattle. But here's one thing, and then I got to get going. And it's not because JW jumped in here. It's because I got to start cooking. But to everybody out there listening, support the kids at your local high school that are FFA in the FFA. I missed the auction this year at the fair. I have an auction number, but a couple of the guys that I get together with, we just didn't connect soon enough to get out there to go to an auction to buy some beef. But really, those kids take care of the beef. They have great hogs. They have great sheep. I mean, what you pay not only helps them, but they're future farmers, and it gives them that confidence to keep going in life and doing that. Now, a lot of them won't, but the ones that are really dedicated, they take the experience in the fair very seriously. And if they're successful, that helps them out so much. Now, my daughter was in FFA, and she showed goats and steers, and it was a great experience for her. So, I mean, if you have the chance to support them at an auction, do so. It's awesome. And it's cheaper. That's the biggest part. It's really cheap. Well, not really cheap, but it's cheaper than going to the store. Plus, you know where your food came from. That's another big thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Cheap. I'm going to contest that. Them 4-H auctions being cheap. I want to come on to discuss you boys making. They tell me the rumor is now. I got this via Charles Linder that Tropolapse pie is excellent. So I'm expecting you cooks.
Chocolate lapse pie.
Yes,
Trophy pie.
that's what they're
Trophy
going to
pie.
do.
Do
They're
you,
going
do you have to skin them?
when they get over, even when they ever get here.
You got to skin them or just put them in
you
whole?
gotta- yeah. Do you have to boil them or do you skin
Boil
them?
'em.
Or what do you do?
You grill them.
Grill them.
Yeah.
All right.
Tastes like success, right?
You know, then you soak them in bacon grease. And then
Oh well,
Now we're getting better.
you can
Everything
soak
was
anything
good
in bacon grease and it'd
Yeah.
be delicious.
Bacon makes everything better.
I'm
That's
with
right.
Brad.
uh,
I'm with Brad.
our local fair, the cheapest steer on the hoof at the 4-H auction brought $6,780.
Holy cow!
So if being
wow.
cheap,
That's gonna
Literally.
be expensive to cut up. That's
if
for
you
sure.
if you win the Illinois State Fair with the steer, there's a restaurant in Chicago who gives them every year $100,000 for the steer.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I mean that's it's not cheap. I mean beef is extraordinarily high now, just like Todd said. But these kids, you know, some of them get quite wealthy over, and unfortunately, now I sold a lot of steers, show steers, to kids. You've got, I'm going to play devil's advocate. You got 2 kids out of 10 that's really work at it. Rest of it's a lot of it's an ego trip for mom and dad does about all the work. And the only time that the kid sees that steers when they're bringing in the show ring, and you can tell those. I mean, if they walk in there because they can't handle us, they don't know how to handle the livestock, but they're out there for that $6,780 or whatever that steer is going to bring through that auction.
Yeah.
So, and it's a good cause if it's well meant, but that's all up to the parents, where the parents make the kid go ahead and, as like with the other thing. Going back to the prolapse conversation, what I watched both of them. There was 2 of them on. I don't know if you didn't mention one with Ian and Charlie and the young lady. What is it? Beefy? That Emily Pedzitsky, whatever her name is, up there in Michigan. She had Charlie and Ian on.
That's Emily, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Is the gist I got from that conversation. Charlie was kind of hollering wolf. And he was trying to put the wolf in perspective. And I don't know, I'm concerned, but what the deal is, if I understand it right, and I watched 2 different explanations of it. They found a swarm of bees on a staircase on a ship 25 miles offshore. It wasn't a swarm, but they had been there. The odd thing about it was they had been there long enough, this swarm of bees that was on the staircase, that they had actually had comb on it.
No.
The test for the tropolapse was on the comb. They didn't actually, if I understood it correctly, I don't want to make a big deal out of it. They weren't on the bees themselves. They were on the comb. That was what they tested. They didn't test any, if I understood it correctly. And somebody may correct me if I'm wrong, but where they got the test for the tropolapse was from the comb that they got these bees off of that they supposedly exterminated. So I'm just making comments. Is anyone else beside me old enough to remember when we had the sudden colony collapses back in the early 2000s? they've never figured out, supposedly what caused that. And heck, we lost. At that time, my dad had several highs, and we lost all of them. You just woke up one day and your bees was gone. I believe in
question for me,
being
JW.
proactive, but you can. I don't want to see a panic stirred up either. In my opinion, I think we need to, kind of see what the outcome is going to be. But there's no one active or collective association that has any power to do anything. So it's going to be a reactive treatment if they happen to show up. In my opinion, more so than it's going to be, and there's anything we can do about it till they get here. So. Well, I'm bringing them out of the wall now with all my comments, haven't I? Huh? I'm
Greg
getting.
Burns is putting some stuff there for you, JW.
I see him.
He's right on that last comment. That's for
Well,
sure.
they had on their. I watched their stream last night. The trach mites is probably for an immediate problem. There's probably a much more chance of being our demise and maybe the tropolap mites. I really believe that. Has anyone ever tested for tracheomites? In the chat here, in the live chat, have any of you guys ever tested for tracheomites?
We had the University of Nebraska, Great Plains, which is directed under, what's her name, Melissa? Judy Wu Smart, come through.
What was that APHIS?
It's done under the APHIS program.
It has to be microscopically done. She didn't do it on hand
Well, they take samples of bees back with them. They test for the tropolay labs doing the bump test. They check for queen rightness, check for any visible brood diseases, and there's several different tests. They also take a sample of the bees back with them to run tests on them, and then they'll send all that stuff back to me. They even sample the combs.
And have you got
I haven't
report
gotten
back from them?
I haven't gotten the information back yet. That just happened Melissa, a month ago.
Yeah, they
I'm
said
going to suggest to you that there's a good possibility that we've all got them.
Maybe.
Do we have them to the extent that's going to damage summer highs? I don't know. You don't hear any comments, and you rarely hear it discussed. Last night, Stream Team boys discussed it a little bit, or Greg did. And I'm just saying that, don't trust the government, because they're probably going to lie to you anyway. They have been for I'll come out and say it. You can't believe these politicians, because they're going to tell you what they think you want to hear and do what they want to do. They try to get reelected. So
That time of year, huh?
and that's both sides. They're all crooks.
Like a used car salesman.
So
Well, I've run 10 minutes over because I have to start cooking.
Uh-oh.
well,
Todd, before you go,
try one of them pies, Todd.
I know, JW, you probably have a question for me.
Feed that
Hey,
to
Todd,
my buddy
before you-
in the corner above you, and
before you take off, tell us about you guys going to be on next Thursday night. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Next Thursday night after you're done. We're advertising a little more in the West Coast groups here, so hopefully we have, new people, so to speak.
Right.
It's amazing to me, and I've said it before, I'll say it again. There's a lot of people out there that keep bees that have no idea there's this, a resource on YouTube, whatever channel it is. They have no idea. And these are people that think that you can only buy stuff from Dade Ant or Man Lake. They have no idea about any other, supply company. So it's crazy. It really is.
Who you going to support and get your 10% from? You going on your chat?
But you mean my?
Yeah, are you and Brian going to set up a store or something and give 10% discounts for your store if they order from you?
No.
See all these other people doing that. You get 10% off if you mention their name.
Nah, we're not going to do anything like that. We'll just have fun, and we can pass out your phone number if they have questions. They can ask them. I'll have them call you.
That'd be all right too.
Yeah. Okay. No. Okay. So I have one order of fried trophy mite pie from JW, right?
Yes, that's true.
Boiled trophy.
You can. That's a pre-order for Nobby. I expect you to have one there so we can try them. They're awfully good. The guys that's got them.
Do you want the skin on or skin off?
No.
Who was it that just put that up there? Lee put that up there. There's a new title that I had to write it down because it was funny as heck. Philip sent this out one night. The title of our show should be Late Night Bee Love with West Coast Honey Daddies.
Oh, God.
Oh boy.
That'll get you some
Bring him
views.
in.
That'll get some clicks.
Yeah,
You better have some admins.
Oh, that's so funny. All right, guys. Well, I gotta go.
All right. Thanks for coming, Todd.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Tell Tom I
you,
said
Todd.
goodbye.
Yeah. See you, Todd.
All right, see you
Good
later.
night, old buddy. I'll see you later.
All right, see ya.
I didn't mean to run off all your guests.
No, he was actually going to jump off before. He said when you came on, he was going to jump off to do some cooking. So no big deal.
I've been to my
Glad to have you on, JW.
school too, so I just getting in. So I was listening on my way home. You probably seen my little comment, but I just had to comment. Things is kind of getting, I thought, a little bit out of perspective, on semi-panic mode. Maybe I was incorrect just in the conversation I was just heard the audio. I didn't see the video on, how this came about, but that's apparently what took place according to Charlie. But I will also preface that, and I shouldn't say this publicly, but Charlie can be a little bit of an instigator too. He's my semi-neighbor, I know he's only about 15 miles down the road from me. And he runs about 6,000. He's a pollinator. 6,000 hives. And he also makes the pronutes. So he's a manufacturer. They make them right there at his place. So good guy. I don't mean to be, I don't mean to be nasty. I like Charlie a lot, but he can overreact sometimes, in my opinion. So
Roy right there has got a good idea, and I don't know if anybody's ever read their senators. Those guys do listen. So if the bee community would send them some letters or put a little buzz in their ears, maybe that'll help out just a little bit. I mean, I don't want the government doing everything, but if they can help out in any way with what's going on, would be awesome. So, but I have wrote my senator before and did get a response, and I was actually surprised. So those guys do listen sometimes.
Well, that absolutely should be one of the jobs of USDA.
Yep.
Right. That's the arm of the government that you really want
Exactly.
to be on top of this.
Yep.
That all come and now it's got a pretty strong state, apiary and registering system, and Illinois actually has, I think at the present time, they come and go 15 state paid inspectors, which a lot of states, have one, maybe two, maybe three, but Illinois there's 15 in Illinois, and you register. But the thing about it is, if this thing becomes a problem, how many 1 and 2 or 10 or 500, whatever they got that's not registered? You understand where I'm coming from? That's going to be the problem with ever controlling it. If we have we should have a major infestation. But haven't figured out. Charlie is saying that the loss from last year to the industry nationwide is and he's probably correct on that, was 45% of the total hives. Well, how many years can we go if we go again this year with a 45% loss? Where are we going to be? As an industry, I haven't lost a hive, myself personally, but I'm just a little guy. So
I think most people are a lot like me, JW. I lost a bunch of colonies, but I fought back all year to get back up to the numbers I was at. So that's what all of us have to do, especially if these trochium mites are as bad as it's going to be. That I think somebody wrote in the chat. You'll have to have 60% of your colonies each year built back just to get you
lose your back. Do you know what you lost your bees from?
Yeah, I think our bees was lost because of Helene, and we lost the fall flow, and I didn't check the resources on those colonies. I just felt like they were good, and they actually ate through those resources before winter got here. So that's what hurt me here in my area. So,
what do you think nationwide? That 45% of the people, the population, bee population, was lost due to operator error, so to speak. I'm doubtful that could happen, but maybe so.
No, I think some of what I was hearing is some of maybe the mite treatments weren't quite as good as they're supposed to be, but that was that's what I had heard. I don't know that for a fact, so that's what I was told. So
yeah, we really hadn't had any updates on that whole mess since they did come out and say that they try to blame some of it on Apivar.
Yeah, yep.
But it's been silent since then. I hadn't heard anything.
Yeah.
No, Brad felt that his losses were some resistance, wasn't it? The Apivar, the treatment.
Yeah, 2 years ago, they did tests on the mites, and they said they were highly resistant.
Because, but does Canadian? Of course, you guys don't have the problem in the States, and I don't think you got in Canada. And then correct me if I'm wrong. Is you don't have feral bees.
Not many at all.
Yeah,
certainly not in my part of Canada. Now, if you go down to southern Ontario, Toronto, for example, is the latitude of Chicago, and Windsor is a long way south of that. So Canada does extend, a lot further south than I am. Plus, you got Lower Mainland in BC. That's a different kind of climate there. But other than that, around here, certainly we have rumor of feral bees from time to time in a tree cavity or something, but boy, it is not common at all. Like random swarm catching, if you're catching swarms, it's usually your own bees, because there aren't bees in the trees casting swarms. There just is not any of that here.
Well, I honestly feel, to my knowledge, I don't have another, whether that be a mom and pop or another apiary within, I'm going to say 7 miles of me. That's, of another beekeeper. And that's a young lady who's got maybe 10 or 15 hives. But I would, there's no way I'm just talking my immediate location. But I really believe if I got serious about it, I could put out swarm traps and I could catch 100 swarms a year.
Wow.
That's how many feral bees that I feel is within that 7.5 mile radius.
Oh, I know. I know people, in in the States, different places, that's how they get all of their bees.
Yeah.
Is
Well,
swarm catching.
uh,
It's just kind of crazy to me. It's just kind of, there's bees everywhere. Just go and get some.
no, I have them come into, if you set an enclosed box out, and sometimes they're not totally enclosed, and there's a bee smell in it, there's a good possibility over a year's period of time if you'll get.
It's the ghost of Brian.
Yeah. There we go. He's in and
ghost,
out, in and
the
out.
ghost of Brian future.
How's it going, guys? Sorry about that. More technology prowess. I didn't hear the entire conversation tonight, but I did hear you guys talking a little bit about the conversation with Emily, Ian, and Charles, the whole trophy thing. I guess my 2 cents is this: the United States can point at Canada, and Canada can point at the United States, but that's not going to help us at all. Because
No,
the fact is, if it gets into Canada, it's in the United States. And if it gets into the United States, it's in Canada. So this is something we got to kind of be in together. Because the fact is, there are leaks in both of the systems. So pointing fingers and saying your leak is bigger than ours is not helpful at all in the conversation. So I'm just, yeah, go ahead, JW.
did you watch the Charlie E and Emily chat?
I did. Yes,
I didn't
sir,
get
I did.
that. Did you get that, Jess, from that chat between Charlie and Ian? I did not. I mean, that's what I'm saying is I didn't.
I think there are always currents of that, especially with the whole package fees from United States to Canada. I think there's always feelings like you're doing something wrong. Why are you doing this? You're putting us at risk. And whether that's valid or not, I think is irrelevant. I think, like I said, both countries can look at the other country and say, there are things you could be doing better. I think the best thing we can do is think about how we're going to address the trophy mite when it gets here. It's going to be endemic, and we can look at what Australia did as a great lesson in the futility of trying to manage that pest. I mean, I know Canada's different, but in the United States, there are bee trees all over the place. And the idea of mitigating the entire area is just unrealistic. So I think there are some great scientists right now that are looking at it, and the Apiary Inspectors of America are training their state apiary specialists on how to do tests, on how to identify it. So I do know there are some things that the United States is doing. I just think we're in this together. It's something we're going to have to deal with together, and we might as well start trying to address it together as a continent or whatever. So that's my 2 cents.
For Congress, maybe you can get you guys all work together up there like think the beekeepers are going to. You think that's going to happen?
No, that's a hard sell, J-Dub. I lose faith in our government more and more. I look at ELAP, I look at SARE. There was a time in my life where I was like, I should write a SARE grant. And now I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to rely on government money. I don't know how reliable that's going to be. So
do you realize that, did you take in and soak in what Charlie said was that the ELAPs paid out last year to beekeepers?
Yeah, I heard that. Yep.
104 million is what he says. I have no idea whether that's false or true or anything.
And honestly, JW, I'm just a little guy, so I have no idea if that's a lot of money or not.
For 104 by government spending, what they throw away.
I don't know.
I'm going to say that's a drop in the bucket. Yes, but that's a lot of money. You don't realize that and I'll tell you the way it is. I've been in agriculture partially all my life. I've had some other ventures too, but I've always had some agriculture in there. So now I get government money, and all my on my row crop ground, I have tenant farmers for, and I let them do all the sign up for it. And I'll tell you the truth, it's not big money, but I get checks from the government quite regularly that I have no idea where they come from. All I do is sign the back of them and cash them. You know, so I'm guilty as anybody of taking them. But you know, there's all kinds of programs out there. Not every FSA that comes under the Farm Service Agency. It's what used to be it's under the Department of Agriculture, where all these agricultural programs come under. And but you go into one county, and I've got, you know, ag interest in different counties, and it's all set up by county or parish, where depends on where you're located. And half the ones that you go in and talk to, they don't even know what you talk to. If you say something about a elapse or something like that with reference to, you know, the apiary losses, they don't have any idea.
And I have no idea, JW, who ELAP is for. I don't know how big you have to be for ELAP to kick in.
There's no, I don't think there's any minimum on it. I think you can sign up, Ron.
Yeah, I know nothing about it, and I
They'll
don't
probably
know.
want you to the deed to your ranch and all your property and your tax returns for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
When you sign up for the application, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
They even have programs like, I was in the cattle business for years, you know.
And I don't want to be rude or insult people out there, but I consider myself a pretty educated person. But the idea of filling out all this paperwork sounds like 20 hours of work that I have no interest in doing. And I think about the average farmer who doesn't have the education background that I have. And
That's
if
right.
I don't want to do it, what's it going to be like for that farmer? So again,
right.
I'm not trying to sound like high and mighty and all university like, but man, that's stuff I don't want to do. And I got a master's degree in education. So
Well,
how approachable are these programs? I don't know, JW. I've never tried, to be honest.
You have to to make it in agriculture, in what I call them sod busters, because they're row crop farmers. You know, Illinois, they don't farm the ground anymore. They farm the government. You cannot, with all these government subsidies programs I'm going in a rabbit hole here. I'll have half the farmers in the country.
Well, JW, it almost sounds like you're saying like a farmer's most important employee is their accountant, because that accountant's going to be,
there's a lot of these farmers out here that's got agricultural degrees. A lot of them people that's got some master's degrees too, but you about have to be. You know, it's big business. It's big business. But I've got farmers in this little county, rural county that I live in, and we're not in the heart of Illinois agriculture. I've got family farmers that's getting $1.5 million, $2 million a year, every year from government subsidies, from the government programs they sign up for. You know, it's just.
Okay, got it.
I'll get off I stirred up this rabbit hole, and I'll get off my nest here. But if we rely on the government to take care of us, you know, God help us, because we're in bad trouble. I seen one of Brad's comments. I looked back through some of it, and you put what the government's going to. If the government is going to help you look out or something of that nature, they've messed up everything they got a hold of, for as I'm concerned. And I'm not being political. I'm being anti-government. These professional politicians, both sides of the fence, are all crooks. I'm done.
Well, crooks or not, and it's not a blanket statement that is true in every case, but crooks or not, I think there's a lot to be said for doing it on your own, right?
Yeah.
Being viable.
I agree. Yep.
Now, on the other hand, agriculture is a tough business, and JW's talking about not farming the land, farming the government, and there's a lot of that goes on, in my country and yours. But I think a government investment in the stability of agriculture is vital, because there's very little more key to the sovereignty of a nation than self-sufficiency for your food. So if your nation can't produce the food for the people, you are in one terrible situation. We've lost the ability to do a lot of things. We've lost a lot of technology mines. We've lost almost all of our manufacturing, which is absolutely terrible. But if we lose the ability to have farmers farming the land and producing the food, boy, things are going to get really bad then. You have to start perhaps begging other nations for your food. So I think it's in principle, it's a really good investment for public money to stabilize agriculture. But best laid plans of mice and men, right?
Yep.
Well, it's it's a long road that has no turns, is all I can tell you, and we need to get a turn or two lined up there, in my opinion. But my days are in the past, they're not the future, so it is what it is.
I've learned recently that I've been coasting for the past year or two. I've definitely stepped into some new shoes that have pushed my thinking quite a bit recently. So it's been a challenge for sure, but I'm definitely learning a little bit more about different parts of the industry for sure.
Well, Charlie's a true. He means well. He's a true advocate for the industry, whether that be the hobbyist or to the.
Yeah, and I've been paying attention to his new organization that he's been putting together, and the vision that organization has. I'm going to be going to the AHPA as well this year in Tampa. So I'm trying to just kind of learn different things about the industry, just so I can grow a little bit personally and take some of that learning back to Colorado.
It's like anything else. The first thing they want is $100 from you to join, on his BCOS Alliance.
Yeah.
If you checking their application, everybody wants money. So not that that's a big deal, but it's, it takes money to operate these things. I don't know what kind of a reliance, or how much participation that he's getting. I would suggest probably very little, if you all know the truth, but I don't know that. I'll have to ask him next time I see him.
Yeah, he's charging $100 for 3 years.
Yeah.
Just thinking outside the box, and I'm not pushing for or against him, but I seriously doubt, even if you got a pretty good large group of people, $100, I'm not going to go very far.
No, that's what I'm saying. And we're not that big as an industry. The bee industry is not that big, as compared to the pork industry or the cattle industry. They've got the bee industry, as far as I know, has nobody lobbying, no paid lobbyists. Find out what the pork industry probably pays, I don't know, 15, 20, 30, 40, individuals that don't do anything but lobby for the pork industry in Washington, so, and the cattle's probably got 200. So.
Well, that was one thing that Charles talked about too, when I was having a conversation with him. He said something about that's the next step, is hiring a lobbyist. And then he said, and I didn't even realize you could do this, he talked about renting a lobbyist, which is not something that I knew that could even
Oh
happen.
yeah, they do that. That's very common, in Washington. That's how crooked the system is. There's people that make a living.
Yeah.
You give me money, all I'll be for you is I care about the cause.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure that's very, very costly to have happen.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we're going to stop the chat there tonight. I will say it's been a pleasure having Brian and JW and Brad on with us. Some of our special guests that's come on talked, and I do appreciate you guys coming on and sharing your opinions and your thoughts. It definitely opens the conversation up to what's going on in the world today. Also, remember, Brian and Todd will be on next Thursday right after our show. We'll try to stop at least at 10 o'clock, if maybe not a little earlier. Let them guys get started up on another chat for a little bit later that night. Remember, we got Charlie on Fridays, and you got Larry on Sundays, Tim and Han on Sundays. You got Joey on Saturday. So there's plenty of chats still go around. Greg Burns that was on here just a few minutes. If you want another stream to go to, there's plenty of them out there. Come and visit and be with them. So, but just want to say God bless, and we'll see you guys next Thursday.
Night, everybody.
Thanks, Ricky.